this ageless valley, a new breed of warrior has been born. Born to rage against the silence of these ancient rocks. Born to tear apart the very fabric of the desert. Born to win at any cost. The stage is set. A storm is coming. The land braces itself. Welcome to Motorstorm.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mario Man 2100 back again with another first impressions video, and it's time to go into Motorstorm. Now, ultimately, you probably have seen me play Motorstorm Pacific Rift, I believe it was called, which is the next game after this. Ultimately, and I had said that I actually had played this game before. And I haven't played in a while though, so that's why I'm going over it now. So we have a selection of bike, ATV, buggy, rally car, racing truck, mud plugger, big rig, and that's it. So I'm going to go with a buggy. Now, ultimately, this was one of the first games for one of the launch games, actually, I believe, for the PlayStation 3 back in the day. And I actually played a lot of this. I played the first level a lot, this level that I'm just about to play now, quite a bit, at a store called Harvey Norman. They had one set up. It was like a demo kiosk type thing, but I think it was the actual game. But you only played this level. So realistically, like, I've gotten used to this level. I've played this at my uncle's place. This is the same uncle that I played at Tekken Tag Tournament 1 and Crash Bandicoot 2 a lot. If I didn't play Crash Bandicoot 2 at home, that's where I would play it. So ultimately, growing up, there were some good games around me, like Tekken Tag Tournament. I love that game. Still have a copy of that game. And Crash Bandicoot 2 I've had since the game launched, I believe. Maybe a little bit after, considering it's Platinum. I think it might have been a year after. But Motorstorm is something that I have played a bunch. I haven't played it in a couple of years, so ultimately I'm still... the last time I really kind of played a Motorstorm game, it was Pacific Rift. So I believe this is the first game. This was the launch title for the PS3. Then you had Pacific Rift was after that, and then I believe after that was Arctic Rush, I believe it was called, for the PSP. And then Apocalypse, and I think there was one more Motorstorm game, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was called after Apocalypse. But yeah, I think that after this game, the rest of the games... Oh, and I landed upside down. So after this game, I don't think it gets as good. I've played Pacific Rift, and you've seen my first impressions video of that game, and it wasn't really as good as this game in particular. I keep saying the first game, but this is the first game. But that one wasn't as good, and I just run straight into it. Oh no! And the bike is on the ground too. So I think after you crash, you have to let go of the accelerator and put it back on to respawn faster. But the crashes, as in Pacific Rift, they're really, really great. Really great in slow-mo as well. Now I gotta be careful because I think this music is copyrighted, I think. So I need to talk over as much as I can. But I've played through most of the vehicles. I think the only thing I haven't really used is like a big rig type vehicle in this game. I might have tried it out once, but I can't remember off the top of my head how it played. I've played with the bikes a lot. I think ATVs are particularly my favourite. That and the buggies. Mud pluggers I think I've used before, but they weren't really that good. But other than that, I think that buggies and ATVs are definitely my favourite. But bikes are pretty cool, especially with the stacks. Like if you really, really crash into something, it really shows you. It's like, it's insane. Like half the time it's just like slow motion everywhere and your guy is tumbling all over the place. It's quite funny. And, you know, I love like cartoons that do that type of thing, so ultimately it's like right up my alley, most of those crushing opportunities and moments there. So ultimately the boost gauge is like Pacific Rift. You can boost to a certain extent and then you get on fire, as you can see under my car there. So the boost gauge is there, but it's you gotta watch and be careful on how you use it and how much you use it, because it can destroy your car, as I've shown before. Oh god, and the bike has just crashed into it too. Hey, fuck you, asshole. You're lucky you're going the other way, because I would crash right into you, buddy. Make you crash. But I don't mind this game a lot. Like, this game is pretty fun, especially for a launch title for the PlayStation 3, and I'm just about to run into a... That has happened to me so many times. Like, I went full speed over that hill, and I realised there's a rock formation in front of that my car just can just run straight into. So probably a good tip there, if you got this game and you got the first track unlocked and you want to play it, don't drive straight just over the jump, especially at full speed, because you're just going to run into that rock every single time. And I've done it so many times, especially at the times that I played the demo and that sort of thing. So it's not, you know, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that it can happen, because it can and it will if you're not careful enough. But yeah, there's crowds all over the place. Definitely look like static images. So I'm going to go up here. This is mainly where the bikes go, because ultimately the terrain, the mud terrain, is better for mud pluggers and big rigs and that sort of thing, whereas up here is for the bikes. But it gives you multiple routes and routes and paths to win the race, which is good. It's good for a racing game when it does that type of thing, because ultimately if it's just the same track over and over again, sometimes it can get boring. The only exception that I can say to that rule is something like if you're playing like a sports title like F1 2017, for example, like the year's F1 racing game, or something like Gran Turismo, which Gran Turismo Sport only came out recently, which is weird because for a while the game was supposed to come out last year, I think, during September. And look, there you go. The computer just took the hold of my car and just ran straight into the rock. But ultimately, I have like Gran Turismo Sport. For a while was in. It seemed like it was in development hell. Because it was delayed like a full year. It was supposed to come out September of last year, and it came out, I think, October of this year. So it really got smashed hard. So I think I'm going to play one more track. So this racing event you have to actually play as a racing truck, which is not particularly my favourite, but anyway. Oh no, these racing trucks are actually alright. I've played with these things, they're alright, they're not my favourite, but they're pretty cool. Voodoo Iguana. I think this one was my favourite, I think. I like the blood splatter type look. It's a bit better. Oh, Coyote Rage. I believe this is one of the first like boss type tracks. I think this is like yeah, it's the second track, but ultimately I think I have played this one as well. Played this one at my uncle's place more so than the demo, because I think the demo I only played this like once, but it was mostly the first level. But I played this at my uncle's place. And I remember hating this track. Oh yeah, it is that track. Oh my god, I hate this track. I remember playing this and I ran into that truck. The truck that's right behind me right now. I had those types of trucks run into me all the time. It was ridiculous. But I particularly don't like this track. I've only played a little bit, but not as much as the first level, of course, but from what I've played of this, I think those barrels are actually explosive. What I've played of this version of the track, and there I go again. No. I was just about to hit the ground, but yeah, that happens quite a lot on this track. There's a lot of really, really tight turns. It really sucks. And if I remember correctly, this track isn't that long. It's like this section here is always hard to control, especially at top speed. And like there's the finish line there. So that's why there's 3 laps. Like it's not a very long track at all. And it really kind of sucks. Because you would think it would be better than what we have here, but no. Went up 2 places. Like this music does sound like something that I could listen to in Gran Turismo, because Gran Turismo has tracks like these, like not full on rock, but pretty close. Fuck off. I'm going to try and get first, but I probably won't, since they'll probably be so far ahead. So this is 5th up here. That's 4th. I can see 4th, I can see 3rd. And I do like the fact that you can have like destroyable terrain in this too. I haven't used the boost that much, I will be honest. I've not used the boost and I've been doing well without it. Oh, that's a motorcycle. I'm lucky that I'm like a truck and not like a motorcycle, because I could run into that motorcycle and just stack. I just want to get a place. If I can get like 3rd, 2nd or 1st, I'll take it, but I hate this track. I really hate this track. I'm gonna get 4th here. Yeah, I fucking knew it. I don't like this track. It's just, like, I know I keep saying it over and over, but it is a track that I particularly do not like. And, of course, that fucking truck! Don't you dare spawn in me. Oh, okay. It's like, at least the game has decency to say, oh yeah, you're in a truck, I'm not going to spawn you in there. Because I'm sure many other games would do that. Like, many other games would go, yep, I'm just going to spawn you right in there, you have only a certain amount of invincibility frames, here you go. Oh, I spawned you in a truck, well, that's your bad, then, not mine. It's like, damn you invincibility frames, why do you do this to me? I'm going to take the outside routes. Jeez, nearly stepped there. I'm going to stick to the outside routes more so than the inside routes, because goddamn. And there's an air horn. Before air horns were apparently a cool meme type thing. They're actually used for what they were intended to use. I don't know how that became a meme, like air horns everywhere. I don't get it. Just like, I didn't get it when it initially happened. Like, I liked it and I laughed at it a while, but I'm just like, where the fuck did this come from? So these racing trucks are not too well in the mud. So when they get on dirt, they're fine. They're absolutely good, but in mud, they're not great. Oh, for fuck's sake. And it just blew me up in general. So as far as I know, I don't have like a health type thing like something like road rage or traffic check, road rage and marked man. I'm gonna restart. Fuck. Like, we don't have like a health system like that in like the Burnout series in this. As far as I remember, I haven't played this track much because, like I said, I hate this track. Fuck off. This is going to be like my last attempt. Because I'm not going to make this video too long. Because as much as some people will want to see something like this, it's not that great. Little barrels everywhere. So I ran into the barrel and it didn't explode on contact, which is good. But they did run straight into the wall afterwards, so ultimately it's like as if I blew up the bloody barrel anyway. So it's got the nice little like mud effects on your windscreen, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's a bit like the blooper in Mario Kart in instance where it kind of hinders your vision a little bit. Not too much, of course, because that would suck. Gonna follow this racing truck. Gonna use a little bit of the boost. Oh jeez, I thought I was gonna like do like a shuttle loop type thing there, doing a rolly and roll. Screw up there. That's kind of cool. Doesn't get you any faster, but it's a cool jump. I don't know whether I hit that guy out of the way or it was like a psych out type thing or what the hell happened there. So I gotta ease off the gas in that little area there to make that turn. So I'm gonna try and take the right route again. But yeah, definitely some of this music is copyrighted, which is kind of fine for a game like this. Like, Burnout did the same thing, and that's, you know, I love that series in general. Dominator wasn't that great, as you've seen with my first impressions video of that. Like, even back when I first initially played it, I didn't really like that game. So it's not, you know, like it's not something that just happened out of instance. Like Revenge is always going to be a better game than Dominator, and Burnout 3 definitely in general is a better game than Dominator. I will say it's just like I said in that video, I think it's more like that was like a cash grab type thing before they were like a B team work on until like Paradise was a thing, which I think was probably being worked on at the same time. I will say that without a doubt is that Burnout Paradise was worked on at the same time as Dominator. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. So I hate that track, and I finally got first. So I'm going to leave it there for Motorstorm. What do I think? I still think it's a good game. I hate Coyote Range, I will say. I haven't played the next track as much, I think. I've probably dabbled in it like a couple of times, but not very many times. But ultimately I still love that first level, because I played it so much. And I do like this game. I do have a nostalgic bias towards the game, because I've had the game for so long and I've played that game for so long. And it's just, you know, something that I really enjoy. But ultimately, you know, other than that, I still think it's a good launch game for the PS3 back when it came out. And it's still a good racing game. It might not be as deep as some of the other racing games that, you know, like Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsport on the Xbox side of things, or that sort of thing. But I still think that this is a perfectly functional racing game in its purest form. And if you're a racing car enthusiast, racing game enthusiast I should say, not racing car enthusiast, because that's more Gran Turismo, Forza type area, then I think you would get more bang for your buck in that type of instance. But if you just like a good racing game, I think Motorstorm is one to pick up for the PlayStation 3. It may not be the most diverse game ever, but it's a good one. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching this first impressions video of Motorstorm for the PlayStation 3. This has been Mario Man 2100. You guys have a great day or night, and of course, take care.